That's not good. Let's try refreshing. There it goes. Once your notebook populates, so we're going to go right here to this drop down. Now mine says editing, yours will say viewing. And you're going to pick open in desktop. Once you do that, your shared OneNote notebook will be loaded into your own private notebook or private OneNote, and we'll never need Teams again. Well, until second semester when we do this over again. But this will be the only day we need Teams in first semester. Yes?
Let me see.
Is it possible you're looking at the three dots and not the viewing? Okay. Okay. While you guys are finishing this piece up, I am going to do the attendance and get the seating chart squared away. So, where you're sitting today can be your seat for the semester. Now, if you're looking around and go, oh, dear God, I sat in a terrible location, I can't see anything, I need to move, this is your opportunity to do so before I ask for your name and write down your seat or whatever.
We can want to sit where Tommy's sitting.
Is that what you said? You want to switch?
No, okay. Starting over here, name, first and last, Aaron Delaney. Okay. Lucy Silver. Okay. While I'm doing this though, I would ask that you guys stop talking because a lot of our volumes of students vary and it's hard for me to hear over a lot of other conversation. Okay. Behind Lucy is Colby Marks. I should have known that because you just told me a second ago, but it's the first day, so cut me some slack, okay? Maggie Maher. Okay. I had another Maher earlier. Are you guys related? Kiara. Yeah. Are sisters? Twins? Just sisters. Okay. Very good. Behind
Aiden Gully.
Aiden Gully. Okay. Okay. And Jamie, I know. Behind Jamie is Isabella Stamati. Okay. Okay.
Tommy Bunchy.
Tommy. Okay. Thank you, Tommy. Tia Karuba. And Gavin, I know. Okay. You, sir. Oh. You know what? The hallway seat and then the city, I don't know. It's two different kids, apparently. Mira, I know. Hi, Mira. How are you? I'm okay. Oh, I know. Yeah, you're honorary CT member. Ashton. Gust. Okay. Jack Kilpatrick. Okay. And Sarah Ava Navarro, excuse me. Will Hannah? Okay. Behind Will is Jack Holman. Okay. And then haven't asked. Okay. Okay. Very good. All right. Next up, we're going to register for or create our Delta Math account. So go to My Notre Dame. Click on your 8th hour trigonometry course. Where it says links, click the Delta Math registration. And then all you need to do is do the sign in with Google. You just press the button and you're done. So we went to My Notre Dame, clicked on the Delta Math registration link, and then picking sign in with Google.
You'll get a husband out for sure. Wait, sign up with Google, right?
Yes. Yeah, who needs another username and password to remember? Not this guy. Let Google manage all that stuff for me.
Very good.
Oh, same. I just see it when we go.
Last weekend.
Oh, same. Maybe we spent like 3 weekends ago.
What do we do?
All right. Shh. After you've completed the Delta Math registration, is anyone still working on that piece? It's like 2 clicks, right? Super easy.
Yeah.
Great. What I want to do now is talk a little bit about my setup for the course, walk through a couple of things on the syllabus, and kind of dip our toes into what we're going to be doing in trigonometry. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. The way my course is set up, everything that we talk about in class, I'm recording. So screenshot going, recording voices. If you're loud, it's probably recording your voice as well. Ooh, exciting. At the end of each lesson, I post a link to the video on the link section, usually just dated, maybe a brief description of like what sections were covered or whatever. It's there. Whether you were absent or you left early or you just spaced out for 80 minutes and went, wait, what? Class is over. I didn't hear anything that happened. Or, oh boy, that was hard. I don't know what I'm doing for the homework. Can I see that again? It's there. Usually within 24 hours of the class ending, I'll have that posted into My Notre Dame, and it's there. Every once in a while, there's a technical slip up, and I might miss one, and I'll just use another class's video that did like basically the same thing, but maybe the words were different or whatever. Everybody cool? In addition to that, every note that I write is going to be done in OneNote. So if you look in the content library for OneNote, every note that I write will be here. Again, you have access to this 24 hours a day throughout the entire semester, as with the videos. Always there for you. I'm trying to make this as easy as I possibly can for you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Questions about any of that? We'll get into more how to use OneNote if you've never really used it before as the semester goes on. But just knowing that it's there for right now is enough. Everybody cool? Happy so far? Okay. I'm going to walk through the syllabus here a little bit. Just kind of do the greatest hits, and we're not going to go line by line, nitty gritty through this thing. I'm going to skip some sections and just kind of talk in some generalities. Everybody cool? Hang in there with me. We're almost there. It's almost 2:45. I know we're squirrely as heck because we've heard 7 syllabus discussions probably today already, but
Most definitely.
yeah, I know. I get it. Requirements for this course, big one. Got to have yourself a graphing calculator. You should have had one last year. If you don't know where yours is, homework assignment tonight is to locate this thing, get it charged up, make sure the battery's still good on it. Some of these rechargeable ones, the batteries corrupt and die, so need to have a functioning graphing calculator for the course. If you don't have one still, you'd want to make sure you get that corrected here in the next week or so. There's some good sales going on usually at the beginning of the school year. Your grade for this course, 50% of your grade comes from the chapter tests, 10% from the homework quizzes, 25% from the homework, and 15% from the final exam. We'll talk more about what a homework quiz here is in a moment. Blah, 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 blah. If you are looking to earn that fancy certificate at the awards convocation or for seniors at graduation, you need a 95 or better for both semesters. The homework, typically I'm going to assign homework one of 2 ways. There's going to be book problems and there'll be some Delta Math assignments. Either way, the homework is due the following Sunday at midnight. So you have all through the course of the week to work on these things. The final submission time will be Sunday by midnight. We'll talk about how to turn things into OneNote as it gets a little bit closer and talk about the different ways you can do that and practice doing that. But that's for later. And the Delta Math is the Delta Math, right? Like it collects it automatically as you're doing it. Questions so far? Kind of nice having extended deadlines on things. Why do you think I'm giving you that? So you can pick away on it during the course of the week. You can come back and ask questions, make sure you're able to complete things if you're stuck. I don't want you to wait to the very last minute and just do like one marathon Sunday session to get it done. Don't do it that way. It's not helping yourself. A little bit every day. If you need a big session on Sunday to finish up, that's one thing. But you should be working on a little bit every day. Okay? The late homework policy. What's written down here is the Notre Dame late homework policy. Because of the nature of the way I'm asking you to turn in the homework and the technology involved, my policy is going to differ a little bit. I want to discuss that right now. So the due date is Sunday at midnight. When I check homework, probably Monday or maybe Tuesday if it's like Labor Day weekend or something, I'm going to go through and I'm going to look at OneNote and I'm going to check your homework. If I can't see your submission or if it's not complete, in the grade book you're going to get a 0 missing if I can't see anything or if it's not there, or like 3 out of 5 incomplete because you're missing like 7 through 10 or something. In that case, you have until the next homework check to remedy this. Whether it's, oh, my homework didn't sync correctly and I did it, it just didn't show up on your end, or I need to finish something or whatever, you have until the following homework check to complete that. Send me an email to let me know that you did that, and there's no penalty for that 1 week. By the following homework check, if it's not there, any submission after that is the 25% deduction. The homework check after that is the 50% and so on. Does everybody understand? So again, I recognize that a lot of students historically will have syncing issues, making sure that things have synced in their OneNote. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll understand, and we'll talk about what syncing means later, not today. And we'll talk about how to make sure that it's done correctly and you're still going to screw it up, and that's okay. That's why there's no late penalty within that first week. Everybody's okay? Understand the homework policy as the tardiness? Okay. The homework quizzes, typically I'm going to give at least 1 homework quiz per chapter. These homework quizzes are unannounced and based on the most recent homeworks for that chapter. Because of the nature of them being unannounced, The way they will be graded is on demonstration of understanding, not necessarily right or wrong. So the homework quiz typically is a couple of questions, 1, 2, 3, something in that neck of the woods. Now, if we marked them right and wrong, you get one question wrong, it's 67%. Does that seem fair? Heck, no. What I'm going to be looking at is, like, overall, do you understand what's going on? Are you doing the right things, but maybe making some minor mistakes along the way? Can you do some of the problems, but not all of them? And I'll assign you a number like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, based on, like what you're able to do. So if basically you can do it all, that's a 10. If you can do it all, but you made some maybe minor mistakes along the way, that's a 9. If you could do some of the stuff all the way through and correct, but you made a kind of a major mistake or didn't know how to do one of them, maybe that's an 8, that kind of thing. So we'll talk as I pass these back, and typically people think it's pretty reasonable. You can get them all wrong and still get like 8s. Okay? If you have good ideas and you're mostly doing the right things, still doable. Everybody okay? If you're an extended time kid that takes their test with Miss Pierce, you just have to make sure you notify me in advance so I can make sure the test is there. Dress code and other school rules. I want to take a pause here and just talk about this. As a staff, we've been asked to do a better job on enforcement of certain rules. So a couple of areas of emphasis this year are cell phones. You guys have probably heard this now 7 times, but I'm going to say it again. So we've been instructed if we see a cell phone out during the course of the school day that we're to take them. That's before class, that's during class, that's after class. From me to help you, at the front of the room I have a cell phone holder. On the white sheets of paper there is a class list where your name is assigned a number. That is your cell phone holder spot. You may use that or not. Okay, you're juniors and seniors. I'm going to give you the option. Now, some of us know that, like, my impulse control is terrible. If I have a cell phone in my pocket and I hear it jiggling or ringing or beeping or buzzing or whatever, I have to look at it. That's what the cell phone holder is there for, is to take it out of your pocket and put it somewhere where you don't get to touch it, to try to help you. If you know that, like, hey, I can put this thing away and I don't even really care about it anyways, it's fine. Okay, it doesn't have to go in the holder if you don't want it to, although if it's not in the holder and I see it, I have to take it. You understand? Okay. Another point of emphasis they've asked for us is lanyards. I remember yesterday on the CT announcements, Ms. Anderson asked you if you still had your lanyard from last year to wear it. Don't see anybody did that. Would be super cool if by the next time I see you, you have found your lanyard from last year and you have it on. That is, if you haven't, I think picture days are Thursday or Friday, so there's a chance you've even taken your picture and have your new lanyard by Thursday, but I would like to see those, okay? Wearing them on your person. It's a security and safety issue for, the security staff to make sure they know who students are. Everybody's okay? Okay. I know, I hate wearing a lanyard also, but I have mine on. In here somewhere, there it is. Right, I got it. And the last thing I'd say is before you leave my room, I'd ask that you take a look at your shirt and your outerwear. I would hate for you to leave, well, I guess this is 8th hour, I guess it probably doesn't really matter, right? If this wasn't the last hour of the day, though, I'd make sure that I had my stuff re-tucked in and make sure all my outerwear is off. Now, Mr. Kulik is I'm just going to ask you to fix it on the spot, and we'll have a conversation about it. It doesn't have to go past that. Other teachers are not so with their enforcement of, dress code rules, and I'd hate for you to run into, a problem to going to your next class. I know that doesn't really count for 8th hour, but I'll say said the same spiel 7 other times today, so I'm stuck saying it again. I'd hate for you to run afoul of someone that really did care, in a not fix it for me right now way. So I will make that reminder for you guys. Use computers. All of the stuff we're going to look at is on OneNote. If you have your tablet out and you're following along on OneNote, that's no problem. If you like to take your notes in OneNote, that's no problem. You can have it out. I trust if your computer is out, though, you're not looking at football game tape or shopping for prom dresses or cruising YouTube or whatever else we might be doing with our day. If I see you doing that, I'll just ask you to put your tablet away for the day. Academic dishonesty. Again, you guys are juniors, seniors. You've heard this a bunch of times. I will say this about this. I recognize that for mathematics, it's very easy to have AI do your homework. Photo math, I understand, is a thing, and there's probably a trillion other things that do the same thing, where you just take a picture of your homework assignment and it does it, right? That is a thief. That is stealing from you. It is not helping you. I would much rather give you an extension on your homework and give you time to struggle through it than you to take a shortcut and cheat yourself. The struggling through is what is going to enable you to know it later. Just getting it done doesn't help you there. It just kicks the problem down to the next section where you still didn't know the first section. Now you have to know it for the second section. It does not help you. Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? Mathematics learning is a run, not a sprint. Again, the struggle is part of learning. You'll never know it as well without it. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways, and it has to kind of be that way for a reason. Now, somebody's struggle might be, a couple minutes, and someone else's might be like a couple weeks, and that's okay. Some of us just need that time for stuff to sink in, and that's going to happen at different rates. If you're having trouble, you can certainly talk to your classmates. You can certainly come talk to me. I love visitors during CT. Okay? But I encourage you strongly, please, 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 do your own work. Don't let the computer do it for you. I know it's very tempting. Don't do it. It is a thief, and it will steal from you the opportunity to really get good at this in a way that you need to be good at it later. Okay? Absences. Again, if you're absent, all my stuff is on my Notre Dame or in the OneNote, right? The video, the notes, the assignments, it's all there. First place you go, get that stuff done. In the event that you miss a homework quiz because you didn't know it was coming because they're unannounced, I try my very best to make sure that on those days where we do the homework quiz, the absent kids get a 0 missing in the grade book if they're gone so that they know right away that they've missed it. You don't really need to schedule anything to make up a homework quiz. Just come to CT and be like, hey, Mr. Kulik, I'm so-and-so from blah, blah, blah hour. I need to make up the homework quiz. And I will hand you the paper and be like, cool. It's a 10 or 15-minute thing. Do it and leave. No big deal. That's assuming that it's a day you can leave CT, right? Can't get out of Mayor's Mondays or something because you want to try to take a homework quiz. If it's a test, again, that has to be made up in the study hall or testing room. All I ask is within 1 week of your absence, you've seen me and scheduled something, even if it's like, next Thursday I'm going to do it. Not this Thursday, but the one next week. It's fine. It's fine. As long as it's in the book. Just don't want to kick this stuff too far down the road. And again, with all math classes at Notre Dame Prep, at the end of the semester, you have the option to double a high test score or retake a test with a new max score of 85%. In addition to that, I'll drop a low quiz score and a low homework grade. And then this is our list of topics to be covered for the semester, for both first and second semesters, actually. And the last page of the syllabus is a sheet that you and your parental entity will sign to acknowledge that I've looked at the syllabus and shown it to my parental unit. I have a physical copy of this for you. You guys bring this back, I don't know, in the next week or so. This is a 5-point homework assignment, so this is your first homework assignment. Is this? Is this guy? If you lose this, keep in mind that you have the syllabus on OneNote and My Notre Dame. You can print the last page of the syllabus off again. If you lose this paper that I'm giving to you, I know some of us have backpacks that are black holes and things go in and they never come back out. If that is you, you can always get a new one. All right. We have about 8 minutes left. I'd like to take a few minutes here and kind of talk about our jumping off point from geometry. So you guys should fire up your time machines, aka your memories, and think back to 2 years ago in geometry. And I want you guys to think a little bit about what we can say or what we know about right triangles. Who remembers anything about a right triangle? Drake.
90 degrees.
Okay, that's a 90-degree angle. Great.
There you go.
That was the same thing? Yeah.
Pythagorean theorem.
Okay, Pythagorean theorem says in a right triangle, the sum of the legs squared is equal to hypotenuse squared, i.e. a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, great. What else? I'm still looking for something else. What else can we say? Give you a hint. It's an acronym. SOHCAHTOA. That is our jumping off point. What is SOHCAHTOA telling us?
Sine, opposite hypotenuse, cosine, adjacent hypotenuse, tangent, opposite, adjacent.
Great. So let's, little bit of preamble before that. So this says, in a right triangle, with acute angle theta, we'd say sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And then tangent theta equals opposite over adjacent. Does this look familiar? Now remember, when we talk about opposite and adjacent, that's relative to the angle, right? So if this is our angle theta, the side across from the angle is the opposite. The side that makes up the angle is the adjacent. Well, and the longest side is always the hypotenuse. But if we were talking about this angle theta, this side is the opposite. This is the adjacent. Well, the hypotenuse always stays the same, right? So that opposite adjacent hypotenuse is always relative to the acute angle in question. That look familiar? Our first order of business is going to be extending some definitions relative to this. So in geometry, what was the smallest angle that we talked about? Smallest angle you could talk about? Well, like in an angle measure. 0 degrees, right? Straight line. Yeah? What's the biggest angle you could talk about? 180, another straight line, right? Our first thing we're going to do is redefine how we define an angle. So you can describe an angle of negative values and values bigger than 180 degrees. Big as you want, as small as you want. After we've done that, we're going to extend our definitions for sine, cosine, and tangent so we can do sine, cosine, and tangent on these angles of any size. that's going to be our first 2 chapters, is accomplishing this. It is critical to everything we do in this course afterwards, like chapters 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, that you're able to accomplish this particular skill, that you're able to evaluate these angles of any size with sine, cosine, and tangent. Every chapter afterwards, you're going to have to be able to do this. So it's going to be A game straight away, because if we can't do this beginning piece, it's going to be struggle bus the entire semester. Okay? We'll go slow. We'll be specific. We'll do a good job in how we define how to do this. But that is our first order of business. Some of this stuff may seem like trivial and like, why are we doing it this way? Promise you it's all going to fit together super nice and neat. But the idea is we want to take these definitions of sine, cosine, and tangent that are stuck inside of a right triangle and abandon the triangle piece. It'll always kind of be hiding in there, but I want to be able to take the sine of like a 737 degree angle. Like, what the heck does that even mean? Like, what does 737 degree angle mean? I don't know. It means nothing to me right now. This is what we're trying to be able to get to. Okay? So that's the goal here in these first 2 chapters. And we'll go through and slowly talk about, like, what do these bigger, smaller angles mean? And then how are the different ways we can define sine, cosine, and tangent so that we can evaluate, like, sine of an angle like that. Everybody's cool? That's our starting off point. So if you're looking at sine, cosine, and tangent going, I've never seen this before, you should come and see me because we really have a little bit of work to do as foundation before we get started. When we come back on Thursday, our starting point will be reviewing how to do this in right triangles. That'll be our first review lesson. We'll have a Delta Math assignment to go with it. And then we'll begin after that, work on extending this definition out. But we should review at least how to do this stuff.
Good afternoon, Notre Dame Prep. As we come to the high school